Greetings, everyone. I am Kai Andita Damali Morgan Campbell. Yes, all of that. I am a clinical psychologist and the executive director of KAHLE Journey. And we are here talking to you today about trauma. What is trauma? So there are many adverse childhood experiences or events that people can experience that we call trauma. So we're talking about things like witnessing violence in your home, in your community, being physically abused, beaten all the time, emotionally beaten and verbally beaten all the time, having negative things being said about you, to things like sexual molestation. All of these things are considered adverse childhood events and traumatic experiences. And all of this is affecting our brain in a very real way, like I mentioned before. So what am I really talking about? What do you mean the brain? How this relate? How this all come together? Our brain is involved in everything that we do. Every action that you take, your brain is involved in some way, whether it's how we move in our hands, how we play in a sport, how we're thinking, how we reason, whether we're focusing or not, all of it. Brushing your teeth, all of it. There is a brain correlation. There's a way that the brain is involved. We want to talk about two parts of the brain. The front part, which we call our prefrontal cortex, or where our forehead there, right? Right there. That part is responsible for what we call executive functioning. Executive functioning means that is how when we're thinking, we're trying to problem solve, we're trying to concentrate, we're trying to withhold ourselves from doing certain things. So we're not impulsive. We're trying to implement, make certain decisions. That is the part of the brain that we're dealing with, right? We also have the middle part of the brain. And in the middle part of the brain, we have certain structures that deal with fear and the emotions. We have a specific part that we call the amygdala. Sometimes we just say Amy for short. And with Amy is responsible for telling us when we need to be fearful, when fear is near, right? We need to fight, we need to flight, we need to freeze. And these things happen when we're traumatized. They're happening way more than our bodies, our brains are supposed to be doing them. We're supposed to be able to deal with stress on a short-term level. When we have this happening and the middle part of our brain is overactive, it is happening way too much for us to really handle. And so we're getting a lot of signals for things that are supposed to be normal as fearful. And this means that we are impacting our relationships, because we're not trusting, for example. So we feel like there's something gonna happen. Some shoe is gonna drop. Something is going to impact us and make us and hurt us. So we're always on the alert, right? Which is not a good place for our brains to be. So that's how the brain gets involved. So now this all impacts our immune system. And even as far as looking at the diseases that can impact us because of trauma, right? So we have things like high blood pressure, hypertension, right? Diabetes, sugar, or even cancer. What happens is that when, again, we are stressed over and over and in such a long and lasting way that we become, our systems, it's too much, it's overwhelming. So our immune system is weakened. And then in comes the infections. We're not able to fight them as strongly. Is that a word? Right? As we were able to before. So this is a really important piece because then we have that openness to all kinds of disease processes coming from trauma. We as a Jamaican people and we in the Caribbean in general, I think we've been through a lot of trauma in our experiences. There is not only like family trauma coming from way back or intergenerational trauma, but then the experiences that I mentioned before that happen maybe on a daily basis for us. And so I think as a Caribbean people, we have to be aware of these and we have to build our resilience, right? So we have to build skills, simple tools, and that's what we're here doing we're creating this video series for us to have simple tools that we can use to be able to build our resilience on a daily basis. They're very easy to utilize. We just need to use them, right? So that we can help to give our body that equilibrium, give our body to get to that okay zone, that resilient zone where we can function more normally as individuals.
Now, when your brain and you are in this state, there are three major things that can help to reset it: safety, calm, and connection. Safety is being with someone or somewhere that's safe. A safe person is someone you can trust. A safe place is somewhere where you feel comfortable and free to interact and to be yourself. Calm is learning how to control your emotions, especially when they get very intense or heavy. This could be feelings of anger, sadness, disappointment, unhappiness, or any other unpleasant emotion. Connection is about relationships, consistent, safe, and trusting relationships where you feel loved and cared for. Having strong, healthy relationships is so important for healing of emotional pain. You should see what our brains look like and how they heal when we begin to have healthy relationships with others. So these skills that we're about to introduce to you seek to improve your sense of feeling calm and safe so that you can connect better with others. But hear me out. It's not a quick fix and it's not a one-size-fits-all. It takes practice, daily practice, for you to improve and to figure out what really feels right for you. Okay? So let's get into it.